Hello, everyone. Welcome to Technique Tuesday. It is 2 p.m. on Tuesday, the 2nd of April. And here we go again with another technique. How is everyone today? I'm just going to wait for a couple of people to pop on. Christine's here. Are you here already, Christine? Do you prefer Christine or Chris? I was wondering about that. Yes, my Easter break was lovely. Thank you very much. And oh, that's good. You had a great time catching up with family. That sounds fantastic. We had a very quiet, we did a bit of DIY around the house because my dad and his wife are coming in a couple of weeks to stay here and look after our cats while we're away. So we have got house sitters. Hello, Denise. Nice to see you. Chris is good. You prefer that? Okay. All right. I'll try and remember that. Margaret was here earlier. I'm not sure if she's back. She's usually pretty on time. She's very, very prompt. Hello, Janine. Nice to see you. Hi, Barbara. Hello, hello. Hi, Sheila. Oh, that's okay. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're late. That's the good thing about replays, right? You can watch a replay, but it's not quite the same as being live. I do understand. All right, so I will get started pretty quickly today. We already have nearly 20 people with us, so that's fantastic. Some of those are on Facebook and some of those are on YouTube. So if you're thinking you're seeing a number that's different to what I'm seeing, that's because you're only seeing the number on the particular social media that you are on. So there you go. Hello, Margaret, you're back. Hi, Katrina. Nice to see you. Hello, Marilyn. All right, lovely to see so many people here. If I have missed your name, I do apologize, but please accept my hello everybody as a blanket statement there. All right, so today I thought I would start by just saying, somebody asked me this week, how do you pick which techniques to do? And I have to be honest, it's not very scientific. I just picked whichever ones I feel like doing that week. Or maybe it was something that inspired me during the week, or my favorite reason to do a technique is because someone requested it. Okay, someone said, can you show me how to do XYZ? And I said, well, how about I do that in my Technique Tuesday video? Today, it's not. Today is just a technique that I really like to do. It's an embossing technique, and I really have a thing for embossing techniques. And by embossing, I mean heat embossing. So now that we've got a good crowd of people here, let's switch over to the desk, and I'm going to get started. So I'll just hit the button. And there we go, over to the desk. All right. I'm not even sure what to call this. I am doing a class this month. I do a technique class in my home studio every month, and I'm calling that the Black Magic class. But there are a number of techniques that I have heard called Black Magic. And the one that I want to do today is an embossing technique. Okay, so it's very, very easy it works best on dark cardstock. So I've got some black here. We might, if we have time today, and we should, I might do a second project or a third project with a different color background. Okay, but any dark color will actually work, but it's most dramatic on black. Okay, so like I said, this is a embossing technique, and what we're going to be doing, we're going to be coloring, embossing to create a beautiful rainbow of colors on our black cardstock, and that's why it's got that high drama. So I'm going to be using white embossing powder for this, and I'm going to show you a couple of things. First of all, before I continue, does everyone know that our retired list is kind of already out? The specials, if there are any items marked down, not everything is, but any items that have been marked down won't actually start their discounts until the 9th of April, which is only next week. But the reason I'm telling you this is that all the items that are not discounted are available now, and we've already got 5 items that have sold out here in Australia so far. And those 5 items are the Countryside Corners stamp set, the 6x8 cello bags, very vanilla thick cardstock, very vanilla C6 envelopes, which is the standard basic card size envelopes. And the final thing, of course, many of you already know the very sad news, vellum cardstock has been discontinued, is no longer available for sale. So I'm sorry about that, guys. If you are after vellum, you can't get it anymore, but never fear. I absolutely am sure that vellum will make a return at some point. I'm sure we will see it again. We can't manage without it completely, right? Well, I've got my embossing editions kit here. If anyone's wondering, this is not on the retired list. Okay, I know it's not the same, Sheila, I get that. I love heat embossing too. It's one of my favorite things to do. I love all the different embossing techniques. I love emboss resist, which we did a little bit of recently. I love all sorts of things with embossing, but this one is one of just a technique that I really enjoy doing. So this is part of the embossing additions kit. It's the fabulous little tray that has the funnel and the hole so that you can empty your powder back out into the tub when you're finished, which means you don't make a mess. I've got some white embossing powder here, and I've also got my embossing buddy. These items, the tray, the embossing buddy. I don't have my brush out, and I don't have my tweezers out either, but that's okay. Those items are all part of the embossing additions kit. If you are looking for a way to keep your embossing really contained and neat and nice, then this is a really great purchase. It's $47 here in Australia. Okay. If you're in another market, don't panic. That's not your price. Your price is different. So you'll need to speak to your demonstrator to find out what that is. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink up this background. Before I start, okay, I'm going to use my embossing buddy. Now, when you're working on a dark color like this, and we're going to go for high contrast, this becomes even more important. There are sometimes it doesn't matter as much, but when you're going with high drama here on a black background, any stray bits of powder are going to be quite noticeable on the black. So we are definitely going to want to use our embossing buddy, and I'm just wiping it over, and I'm putting my fingers just on the very bare. I don't want to handle this too much because the oil from your fingers can actually create a place that static electricity will stick the powder to. Okay, so you don't want the oils from your fingers, and we can't see them, but they do become quite noticeable if the powder wants to stick to any oil that's left behind. Okay, so I'm going to pop that in my tray. I'm finished with this now, and I'm going to use Versamark ink. Now, when I was deciding what to do for this one, I thought, well, let's use something new. Would you like to use something new? This is actually an upcoming stamp set. I've gone through and put a little yellow sticker on all my new sets so I can see at a glance which ones are new and when they're on the shelf. But this leaf collection is a background stamp. And this one was actually I think it was an all attendee giveaway at our recent on-stage event in Melbourne. So we had a training event down in Melbourne last month. And this was one of our gifts that we got just for being there. So that's how I happen to have this one. All right, I'm going to pop it here on the tray. I'm using block F. Block F is our biggest block, and it's the right size for a lovely big background stamp like this. Alternatively, if you don't have block F and you still happen to have a Stamparatus, you could use your Stamparatus platform, the actual, what do you call those things? I've lost the word. You know what I mean. The plates, that's it, the plates that go over. You could actually adhere this to those, and that would give you a really great way to stamp. All right, so actually I don't want this in here. I don't know why I put it there. That's just me being silly. I am going to ink this up. Just move my tray for a minute. I'm going to ink it up in Versamark. Okay, now you could also use, if you have a nice inky white craft ink pad, you could also use that. But I personally prefer to use Versamark ink for my embossing. It is a clear, sticky ink. And when we use this, it's not going to look like a lot is happening, to be honest. It'll be a bit boring to start with. But once we get the powder on and we heat it up, it's going to look amazing. Now I am going to make sure this has got really, really well inked, okay, because you want to make sure you're going to get a really good result. Now, if this was a photopolymer stamp, I would make sure there was a mat under here to give me some cushion, but when you're using a rubber stamp, there is already cushion provided between the stamp and the block. Okay, that's what this foam is for, and that's going to give you a better image. So let's put this here in the middle. Actually, I'm going to do, because it's such a big stamp, I'm going to put this edge down, and I'm going to put it down this way. I'm going to lay it down on top of my piece here. I probably could have gone a bit closer to the edge, but that won't matter. We can always cut it down if we need to. Now I'm leaving that there for a moment, and I'm going to come in here with a piece of scrap paper. And I just realized that all the scrap paper I have, I've written on it with a Sharpie. These are all my lists for my trip away when I go to Mexico in a couple of weeks. So I'm just going to grab a piece of paper out of the printer. because we just want a piece of paper that we can pop over there and then make sure we get really, really good transfer of that ink by rubbing our fingers. And I'm making sure I don't move it. I'm just making sure we make good contact. All right, so this is just going to go over the whole thing. You could, if you have a brayer or a roller, you could also rub that over the back, but using your fingers in this case is a good idea because you would know if you moved it, whereas if you were using a brayer, you might not realize if you moved it. All right, so I'm going to pick it up very, very carefully here at the edges and turn it over. Now, it's going to look like not a lot has happened. Let's see if we can get this in the light and you can see that it has actually stamped. I can see it, but you might not be able to. Let's see, can you see it there? See the light? All right, so we have actually got really good stamping. Isn't this a beautiful stamp? I can't wait to play with this. This is actually the first time I've used it. Very, very first time. So I'm a bit excited about that. All right, so let's pop that down. Just going to check the comments and make sure I haven't missed any questions. If anyone has questions, please ask. Okay, just going back quickly. Nothing with a question mark on the end that I can see. That's what I'm looking for. Use your cutting plate. That's a great idea as well. Yep, didn't think of that, Betty. Excellent idea. All right, so now I've got this and I've got my white embossing powder and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to literally dump this all over. Okay, so I'm going to sprinkle it from one end to the other. And if we run out, we'll do it again at the other end. So let's see, because it's such a big stamp, it's going to take a little while for this to emboss. Oh, I'm going to get, it was a pretty full tub, so I've managed to cover the whole thing. All right, so let me just, I'm going to turn, you're going to see a light come on in a second. There it is, because I'm going to turn my heat tool on at the wall and that's ready to go. And then what I'm going to do here is, you could use tweezers if you have any. I just don't happen to have any right this second close by. But I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to tap it. Now you can see what's going on. See how I missed a little bit at the end? I should have moved it a little bit closer, but actually that'll provide me with somewhere to hold on to be honest. I'm going to tap that off. Now, I did seem to miss a little bit just here. Or it might just be that it didn't verse them up quite well in the corner, but I'm not worried. That looks fine. All right, let's pop that down on the surface here. It looks good already, doesn't it? But the only thing is, it's not cooked, which means if I was to touch this now, that powder would just wipe off, and we don't want that. So I'm going to take my lid off my tray here, and the little plug is out, and then we're just going to put the whole thing back in. And that's what I mean when I say you might like this set if you're someone who likes to, if you're like me, I used to get myself into an almighty mess whenever I used embossing powders. I would end up with powder everywhere. This way I don't. Okay, I really like, I'm just going to use a little brush here to get back a little bit that I've missed. There is a brush that comes in the Embossing Editions kit, which mine disappeared, and I have a pretty good idea where it might have gone, but I don't know that for sure. And the person I'm thinking of can't defend themselves; they're not here, so I'm not going to lay blame in that area. But I think I know where it might have gone. You missed the beginning. That's okay, Shirley. That's fine. All right. So now that we've got our white powder back in there, we're going to come in here. Now, you could put this back into the tray, okay, when we go to cook it. But if you have a glass mat like this one, then you will find the glass mat is a very, very good surface. Also, the silicone mat is a good surface to heat emboss on. And if you, like I said before, if you have a pair of tweezers, you could hold it down with the tweezers, but you can even hold it down with anything you like. And I'm just going to hold it here on the edge with my take your pick tool. And I'm going to cook the whole thing. Now, this will take just a little while to do this, so careful that you don't aim your heat tool onto anything else. You just want to aim it solely on this piece of paper. If I was just going to emboss alone, obviously white is going to give you one particular result, but clear would give you a totally different result. It's going to look lovely, but you can't do the particular technique that I'm doing today with clear. And the same with metallics. Metallics look fabulous, but you don't need to do anything else to those. Those can just be left as they are. To get this coloured look I'm going to get today, we've got to use white. Now you can hopefully see the colour. Can you see the colour is, it's getting whiter. That's what you should notice, is that as it cooks, we have a whiter result. I can see it as, can you all see that actually cooking as we go? And it's going faster now because the heat tool has heated up. So it's a lot hotter now than it was at the start. I haven't looked to see if the heat tool is going up in the new catalogue. I don't know if anyone else has left that up, but let's just talk heat tools for a second. I'll finish this off and I'll tell you why I think this is a great heat tool. And I've had a few heat tools in my time. Did anyone ever used to use the toaster to do their embossing? Anyone ever do that? All right, I have now got this, I think, pretty good. I'm just going to hold it in the light and make sure there's no dull spots. Now, if there are any dull spots, that will be where the powder is not yet cooked. But it's looking pretty. I'm just sort of systematically looking all over to make sure that it's cooked everywhere. I think it is. So now I should be able to, and see, we've got hardly any splotches of extra powder, and that's because we use this little guy. Okay, makes a huge difference to how the result comes out. All right, I'm liking it. What do you think? Do we like this? Just let me see if everybody, hello Kay, gonna miss you at scrapbooking this week, Kay. So sorry that you can't make it. All right, now for the magic to happen. I know, it is like magic, isn't it, Jen? All right, so now I get to decide what colors do we want to do this. For this, we're going to use our alcohol markers, our blends. And I'm going to use a couple of bright colors, I think. I did think about maybe using a brand new color. This is Shy Shamrock, which is a brand new, one of our new in colors. That color might be fun to use. But let's see what else we have. We have Parakeet Party. This is a retiring color. Okay, maybe I'll use retiring colors on this one. I don't know. What do you think? Granny Apple Green. Now that is, I've actually got to get, does Lemon Lime Twist come in the blends? There's a few colors that it doesn't come in, but I'm hoping Lemon Lime Twist does, because I'd like to get Lemon Lime Twist to replace Parakeet Party when it retires. I think maybe some, we could do Highland Heather, or we could do Fresh Freesia. This is dark and light Fresh Freesia. These ones look nice together, don't they? Those two look really good. And there's Highland Heather. That's a little bit more purpley, so that might be too much the same. And what other color will we have? Does anyone have any thoughts on what other color might look really good with that? Shy Shamrock. I know, isn't it a great color? It's really hard to say Shy Shamrock. Say that a few times fast and see how you go. All right. We could, oh, that would be interesting. Those colors are nice. I can't wait to get all the new in colors. So far, the Shy Shamrock is the only in color I have in the blends, but I have a pre-order going through, and hopefully I'll have more colors soon. Let me see what other people are suggesting. You used to use a hairdryer. Do you know the only problem with the hairdryer is it sometimes blows your powder away because it's too powerful. You need something with a lower speed of air. So this is our Stampin' Up heat tool. Okay, I really like this heat tool. I think it's fantastic. One of my main favorite things about it, because I had a previous one before this. I'm trying to remember. I think the brand was called Milwaukee. I've still got it somewhere. In fact, I think it's just behind me here. But what I like about this one is it has this plastic coating. Okay, and the plastic piece here, it's a separate piece, but it's stuck on there pretty well. That protects this metal end, because that metal end there gets super hot when you're embossing. Okay, and the longer you emboss for, the hotter it gets. I know someone who gave themselves some very nasty burns from the end of an embossing tool, and it wasn't one of these, it was a different type. I'm so glad this one has that. The other thing this one has that I really like is it has 2 speeds, so you can go low or you can go high. All right, and if you're doing a lot of embossing like this, going high is the way to go. But if you're using it on a really delicate surface, like maybe acetate or vellum, you would want to use a lower speed usually. You can sometimes speed it up once it starts to cook, but sometimes you need to start on a lower speed. All right, what do we think? Oh, you did your pre-order, Leslie? Yes, I ordered some catalogs this morning and some other bits and pieces, so that's exciting. Lemon lime twist does come in the blends. Thank you, Tanya. That's very helpful. There you go. Denise just told us the heat tool is going up $2 in Australia. So it's currently $54 and it will be $56 after the 1st of May. So if you're in the market for a heat tool, that's a good thing to know. A blue, says Sheila. Well, we could go with, I tell you what we could do. I've got a few different blues. I've got Parakeet Pard. I suppose this Tahitian Tide. Okay. But I feel like that might be, oh, that could work. That could work. I've also got Orchid Oasis and Starry Sky, which, hang on, they're just over on the table behind me. I'll grab those. Only because they're over here because I was using them on a scrapbooking page that I was playing around with. And so while I was, so these are also, look at these colors, aren't they nice? I think we definitely need the light. So this is the Starry Sky, that one there, and this is the Orchid Oasis. So I'm only going to suggest we use 3 colors. And see, this is what's nice about blends and why you can only use alcohol markers for this technique. You can't use anything else because your normal markers are water-based. And so if you colored in with those, it would wipe right off. It would just basically, it won't stay there. But the markers, the alcohol markers, do stay. They basically will color whatever you are trying to color. They will stay on both porous and non-porous surfaces. So it's very, very helpful. Oh, you're moving, really, Kay? I want to maybe send me a message and let me know what's going on there. I'd love to hear more about that. Thank you. Yes. Lemon lime blends, fresh freesias, limes, greens. Yes, I know. Really, really nice colors, right? I think maybe this one's too dark, so I'm going to take that one out. But I'm thinking these are maybe a good mix. So let's try these. 3 colors is usually enough. We could go up to 4, but let's see. I'm going to start with my Parakeet Party, okay, which is this one right here. And we've got a dark and a light. So if you're ever wondering how this works, it says right here on the side, dark Parakeet Party. And then when we look at this one, it says light. So if you can't tell by just looking, because sometimes they're very similar, which is which, you can read it on the side of the marker. The other thing that's important about the markers, well, there's a few things actually. This end has a thick line. See that? See the thick line there? And then this end has a skinny line, right? This is telling me that this is the thick paintbrush end. All right, so it's like a paintbrush. You see that? Hang on, let me hold it somewhere where you can see it. There it is. And then the other end is like a pen. All right, so yeah, they're very cool. And so you can do fine detail work or you can do larger areas. And it helps you know. The other thing is when we used to have, once upon a time, we had the thing called the blendabilities. Do people remember those way back? They were round and they used to roll off the table. I love the fact that these are square and when you put them down, they stay where you put them. I love that. All right, so let's start with our dark. I'm going to start with, I don't know, let's start with some of these leaves here. And we're going to color this in. And you don't have to be very clever with your coloring. Now, if I was doing this on a piece of paper, like normal cardstock, then yes, I would blend from one color to the other. But on here, you're probably not going to be able to tell very much with such a small area here. And so we don't really care too much about that, but you can see straight away we've managed to color this. And if a little bit of white shows, that's completely fine. So let's do some different colors. Let's do our Tahitian tide. I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to, you can see this is very, very simple. You don't need to muck about. You can just go straight on. You can be precise and go right to the ends if you want to, or you can leave a little bit of white. It doesn't really matter, but you can see straight away, this is fantastic. These are so, so nice to work with. So let me color. This is the light Orchid Oasis, I think. Yes, light Orchid Oasis. And you can see it's a purpley blue kind of a color. Somewhere in between. I think it's probably, what do you think? Do you think it's more, on here it looks more blue, but when I usually look at it, I would think of it as more purple. But Orchid Oasis is one of our colors that is retiring. So this color and the orchid are both saying goodbye, and so are the Tahitian tide. They're in the in color section that are actually retiring and saying goodbye. So if you love these colors, you'll want to jump in and grab them before they go. To be honest, I'm a bit surprised. None of the re-inkers have sold out yet, and that's very unusual. Usually they're the very first thing to go, but this time I think because we had a couple of other items such as the envelopes and the vellum cardstock and things that people were absolutely desperate to make sure they got their hands on, that's why those things have gone first, because there's a few things there. Right, so you can see that I've gone through and I've done this whole piece, okay, but I'm going to go back in with my darker one. Now that I've got a bigger area to work with, can you see that this, you can see the difference in these dark colors here. Just like that. Right. So you could, if you wanted to actually blend them, you could come back in and do a bit of blending with your lighter color. But, you know, up to you if you want to do that or not. But I'm going to leave it like that because I think they look quite nice. All right, so we've got our 3 colors there. The 4th color is Fresh Freesia. Should we do it or should we stick with these 3? Do you think we should add our pinky purple, the Fresh Freesia, or should we stick with just the colors that we have? I'm looking to see, did you try to order the new re-inkers, Sheila? Yeah, we're all living on noodles for a little while, but that's okay. I like noodles, so it's all good. What would you rather have, craft supplies or, you know, sirloin steak? Don't ask your husband, or any husbands, don't ask them. But, you know, the rest of us, we're happy with our craft supplies. Suzanne, enjoy your lunch break. That's awesome. Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame, Lani. Yes, Fresh Freesia. Okay, all just 3. Let's see, who was the first person to comment? What were you trying to get, Sheila? Was it the re-inker packs or individual re-inkers? Can you let me know? Might have an answer for you, maybe. Yeah, Leslie and Lani gets pain in her hands when she crafts for a while, and especially like using the blends and so forth. And Leslie has trouble with her back if she crafts for too long. So you guys just need to be kind to yourselves and just maybe do it in small doses. Just 3, said Nari. Just 3, says Christine. Yes, Fresh Freesia, says Donna. All right, and stick with it, says Lisa. So we're going to stay with the 3 colors we have. All right, so I'm going to pull out Fresh Freesia, and we're going to leave those out of the equation. So I'm going to come in and do some more coloring. So this is going to take a little while, but I don't think it's not an unpleasant task. It's actually a really nice thing to do. And the nice thing is that you can be a little bit rough and quick because your color's not going to show up on the black. So if you go a little bit over the white, it's a very forgiving technique, and we like that, right? So I'm just going to add some darker bits to this. Looks good, and you can see how nice this is. So this is a high drama technique. All right, I think this is the sort of thing that you know, once we've done this, it will be super easy to put our card together, and all we've got to do really is add a sentiment and it's going to be done. So I'm going to come in here with my light color, and then I will add some highlights in black again. Sorry, in the darker color, not in black. We don't want to do anything in black. We're on the black. So who's never seen this technique before? Who didn't know that you could color embossing with your blends? I think it's super fun, this. I'm going to add. And it's quite therapeutic, that bit of coloring as well. Some people wanted me to add an extra color, but there we go. Going through comments. It is fun. It is fun, Valerie. You are correct. All right, I'm trying to alternate my colors so that we don't have too many of the same color all in the one place. So, you know, like I'm trying to spread them out a little bit. So then this one. And at some point, I'm thinking I might, because I didn't quite go close enough to the edge with my stamp. Although that's a very straight line, I have to say. So maybe I could leave it like that because it kind of looks like a feature, or I could chop it off. I could get my trimmer and just make it a little bit shorter. Either way. All right, so I'm thinking we'll use this one down here on this big one because we haven't had any blue, the Tahitian tide, for a little while. So I hope no one's bored watching me do this. I find watching other people color fairly therapeutic. I don't know what it is, but it's something nice about watching people do coloring. Now I'm going to come in with my darker color and I'm going to add some dark color bits. And then this one down here I think should be our purple. So this is the Light Orchid Oasis. If you're not sure, just turn it over and read it on the side. Now this would be a nice technique on a scrapbooking page too, don't you think? I think it would be very nice. I'm thinking about scrapbooking at the moment because I've got a class this week, and so my head's been in just designing scrapbook pages for the last couple of days. And I actually had several designs, a couple that I wasn't particularly happy with until I settled on one that I was happy enough with. All right, I'm going to go with my darker color here. And let's add some Parakeet Party down the bottom here. Don't forget with these ink colors that are going, if you have not got your re-inkers to match your refills, you'll want to do that soon because it won't be long and they'll be gone. So, all right, so how do we go? I'm just going to touch up a couple of little bits. I feel like that's looking pretty good. Isn't it nice piece? Isn't it nice? You're into therapeutic? Yep, aren't we all? Exactly, like Nairi, you are so right. All right, so this is now completed. Okay, should I cut it off shorter, or should I just decide that that's kind of cute there on the bottom, having that little bit of a edge? What do you think? Do we like it, or do we want to? Good, I'm glad you'll try it now. That's great, Nairi. It's an easy technique, Leslie, and the blends lend themselves to this because they color anything. Okay, so you can color your embossing, and I think it's really, really effective on the black. Don't you think it's awesome? It's a great stamp. It's called Leaf Collection, and it's going to be in the catalogue come 1st of May. Does anyone happen to know if it's on pre-order for demonstrators? I don't know. Because we were gifted it at On Stage, I didn't pay attention. But leave it. All right, leave it is the answer. All right, we'll do. All right, so I've got a card base here. So this is my basic white. And I'm going to use a bone folder, just fold over. This is half a sheet of A4, folded in half again. So this is now going to go right here. So it's cardstock size. If you wanted to, you could cut it down, or I could cut this down and put another piece behind. You know what, I'm really tempted to. I could still leave that on there and take a bit off the top if I wanted to, but I'm tempted to put a piece of Parakeet Party matte around this because I think that would really pull out this green. What do you think? Do you think that would look good? Let me have a look and see. So I've actually got Lemon Lime Twist and Parakeet Party are pretty similar. Let me just pull out a couple of this. So this is Lemon Lime Twist. Okay, this is a new color in our, well, this is in our main Brights range. Okay, if she's at Brights. Yeah, it is. And then we have Granny Apple Green, which is also in the Brights, but quite a lot darker. Can you see the difference? It's a bright green, but this is much lighter. And this is Parakeet Party. Okay, so is this one? No, that's Lemon Lime Twist. So can you see the difference between these? All right, so this is actually a brand new pack of Parakeet Party. I don't think I'll be using all that before it retires, do you? So it's similar, but it's different. This is a bit greener. This is a bit more yellow. So Lemon Lime Twist does have more of the lemon, and Parakeet Party is definitely more green. So then you have your Granny Apple Green, which is a step up again. All right, so it's interesting to see them side by side, don't you think? So I'm deciding whether to, I think I'll use the Lemon Lime Twist piece that I've got out. You can use these colors together because even though they're different colors, they look pretty good next to each other. So I'm actually going to cut this down because I think that would be nice. Black with the white base and the bright colors. I know, right? It looks fabulous. So this is 14.3 that I'm making this. This is my matte. And I'm going to make it 10 centimeters. Now this is actually the same size as the black piece that I started with. You can see they're identical in size. So I'm actually going to cut this piece down. So I'm going to take half an inch off here. Sorry, half a centimeter, not half an inch. All right, that's gone. All right, and will I take it off the top or will I take it off the bottom? What do you think? I know you love it, Jody. You love this color. This is every time I see a lime green, I think of you. All right, we're going to take this bottom bit off. Take it off the bottom. Okay, we're taking it off the bottom. So this is going to be 13.8, which is the right size. Now our bottom piece is gone and our design goes all the way to the bottom. And I'm going to use this to matte it, and it's going to really pull out that color. All right, so by using the green underneath, I could have also used the Tahitian Tide. I don't know why I have trouble remembering the name of that. I don't know why, but I keep on doing that. All right, so I've got some Tombow here, and I'm going to pop that on the back of my black piece, and then we'll stick that to the Lemon Lime Twist. My favorite thing, I think, when I first joined Stampin' Up, my favorite thing and what really drew me to them was before I joined Stampin' Up, I was more of a scrapbooker than I was a card maker. Okay. And I used to spend so long when I would pick out a photo, I would go find some beautiful paper that I thought would go with it. And then I would spend hours trying to find cardstock that matched my paper, okay, and maybe ribbon, maybe other things, other embellishments and bits and pieces. It would take hours. And then when I went to my first Stampin' Up workshop, I went in there and it was the color coordination that blew me away. It was just like, it was a huge aha moment for me, okay? And the way that kind of fed me into wanting to be a Stampin' Up demonstrator was it was going to save me hours of time because everything matched. I knew that if I had a color of an ink, there was cardstock for that, there was ribbon for that, there was embellishments for that, there was paper for that, there was all sorts of stuff, and everything matched, and it just made life so easy, and I was so grateful. And so that was my first step into Stampin' Up, and that's what really attracted me to them in the first place. So I don't know if that's something that anybody else relates to, but absolutely that was how I got started. I'm now going to put this onto my white card base that we folded earlier. So let's move this around. And if you have a huge long wish list, if you have heaps and heaps of things that you want to buy and you're not a demonstrator, consider becoming one, because you will not only get a discount on all your purchases, but you'll get an amazing discount on the kit itself. Okay, it is such a good deal. So do think about it. It's the sort of thing that sometimes, if you have any questions, reach out and ask. That's what I'm here for. Okay, now I'm going to cheat, and instead of cutting shapes to put on this, I'm going to attack my scrap box here, and you can see I've got all my like leftover shapes and things from other, and oh, how sad. Look, it's a vellum circle, guys. How sad is that? I don't feel like I can use it. All right, so I've got this piece here. Actually, can you see it's got little circles? That's actually cut from the Everyday Details ones, and I could use that. That would be nice, but I'm kind of thinking maybe I'll use the stitch circle, like so, or I could do a square. What do you think, a square or a circle? Because I've got squares and I've got circles here. Here's a square. All right, so we could put that down there, for example. Or I could have a different colored circle behind another circle. Do we like squares or circles? I agree. You're absolutely right, Jolene. And that's really why Stampin' Up is amazing, because they really have that color coordination thing sorted out. And that takes time off us looking to match colors so we can spend more time crafting, right? So too big, says Donna. A tag, says Donna. Yes, we could do a tag. I've also got other shapes. Like I've got a nice little piece here that I could put a very nice greeting on. Notice there's a bit of a mark on that. Let me just see if I can, maybe I'll find a different tag. I've got so many tags and banners and goodness knows what in this basket. Well, there's a tag, but that tag, actually, that one's too big. I mean, I could go this way, but I feel like it's too big. What do you think? And yeah, I do feel like that's too big. And we also have, this is one of the nested essentials. That would be nice too. That's a nice shape. What do we think? All the tag looks good. Better than the square, smaller, too big. This is too big. Is that what we're saying? Smaller, maybe smaller. Well, maybe I do have to cut a piece after all. I don't know. Actually, this piece here might be in better shape. Let me see. So do we like that one? And that way we're not covering up very much of our design either. Another option would be we could do a black one and do white thing on it. We could do that as well. You like the shape, but it's still too big? Okay, smaller. How do we feel about this shape? Yes, says Jody. That's the one, says Chris. Okay, that seems to be a popular choice. This is actually from the Enduring Beauty dies. So I'm going to pull out my Enduring Beauty stamp set. This one is not retiring. And we've got some nice things here. We've got Holding You Close in My Heart, Embrace the Beauty of You. I don't know that I'd ever send that greeting to somebody. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but that doesn't seem like something that I would do. Love endures all things. That's nice. And You Mean So Much to So Many is probably the one I use the most in this set. But these all fit because they're designed to. Or, actually, I've just had a thought. Let's use a retiring set. And I'm thinking there'll be something like, there's a You're Simply Marvelous. There's a I Know You Will Get Through This. Sending Love and Best Wishes. Will that fit? It would fit. What do we think? Do we like that one? So I'm going to stick with this because that's the one I have right now. And I'm just thinking You're Simply Marvelous is rather nice. Do we like that? Would that be a good one? And I would pick one of these colors out of here or one of the colors out of this kind of coloring. So maybe Starry Sky or Orchid Oasis would be good. Starry Sky is the same kind of tones but darker. And I think that would be, I like a darker color when I do a sentiment. What do you guys think? Yes, 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 yes. Okay. All right. So I'm going to pop that on there, and I'm going to grab my Starry Sky ink, and I'm going to open that up. A gentle tap. Don't ever press too hard in the ink pads because otherwise you end up with ink all around. So what you want to do is always check to make sure you haven't transferred ink to the outside so that it's going to stamp cleanly. All right, so I'm just going to line it up so it's straight on my glass, and I'm going to come over it here, and we're going to pop that right there. There we go. I think that's nice. All right, so let's pop some dimensionals behind that. Give me a second. Put some dimensionals here. So I did pull out a couple of other sets that I thought would work well with this technique. And some are current, some are retired or about to retire. Not retired yet. We will need bling on this, won't we? Goodness, what bling shall we use? Bling, bling, bling. Let's see. I could use the purple gems. They would work, these guys, but they're a little bit too purple, don't you think? And we also have some Pool Party, which would almost go in here with the Parakeet Party. Sorry, is it? No, Tahitian Tide. Then I could use, very sadly, the Iridescent Rhinestones. I think they might be the go because they're going to pick up the color that I'm using. These are retiring. Isn't that sad? They've been around for years and I've loved them and loved them, but they are finally going. So, oh, look at this. I have some Tahitian Tide 2022 to 2024 in color matte dots. Those would be the perfect match. Shall we use them? What do you think? I've only got a few left. Stella the blue leaves. Oh, I could. I don't know how much the Stella will stand out on the embossing. It might not as much as it does on cardstock. Oh, Suzanne had to go. Bye-bye. Enjoy the rest of your day at work. I hope you do. All right, so I'm going to use these. Yes, why not? Yes. All right, so I'm nearly out of these, so it kind of feels like this is my chance to use them. And I could put ribbon or something, but I kind of feel like it doesn't need it. And I'm going to pop some up here. And I've actually got a little bit of a white bit there, so I'm going to cover that up. No, I don't feel like that's the right place. That one's right. But I'm going to go this one here. That's better. All right, happy with that. It's looking great. This will be this card will be up on my Instagram page and Facebook page. If you want to check those out, I'll have it up there in the next day or two. So, all right, so I'm going to push all these out of the way and show you a couple of other sets that I thought would work really well. You basically need, for this to work well, you need a solid stamp. Okay, so a solid stamp, for example, I looked at this one and thought this stamped, and you could do it. I did think about doing this in white on a navy background because it will work on any dark color. You won't have it won't be as dramatic as the black, but I think it would still work really well. I didn't have any parakeet ones left, so Tahitian Tide it was, Jody. Oh, I'm glad you like this technique. Can I put it up to the camera? You mean this? You want to see this? Is that what we're looking at? Is that what you wanted? Oh, I'm glad you like it, but it wasn't hard to do. All we did was white emboss and then color it in. And it's really a fantastic technique, gives you some great ideas on, you can do so much with it. Any solid stamps, so we could do the cakes, that's nice and solid. This flower is nice and solid, and I was thinking it would look lovely on like white embossed on a navy blue background and then colored in pinks. That would look really nice. So I will maybe do that one another time, but I think this is our main card today. I do quickly, here's another set that I thought would work. This one is retiring. So this is one of our retiring sets. This one, I think you would color this in once again, do it in white and then color it. You could go psychedelic with this one, right? because it's kind of a 70s spiral tie-dye kind of a theme. So, which I actually have had a lot of fun with this stamp. So, kind of sad it's going, but yep, it's going to be retired. So there we go. But I thought that one would work really well on a black background or any dark color as well. Oh, I'm glad you like them. Thank you so much. Okay, so very quickly before I go, for those of you who watched my craft along the other day, you will have already seen these cards, but I'm quickly going to pull them out and show them again because I know there's going to be people watching who have not seen these. You can go back and watch again if you want to. This was the card we made in the live video, completely free to watch. It's a free tutorial. It's public. It's on my YouTube channel, and it was craft along for March 2024. So it was last Thursday. And you can see this is, I've called this card, I designed it and called it the Curvy Bifold card. Thank you to everyone who helped me give it a name. I needed something short and catchy, and it was better than what I had. I had Curvy Opening Card. I think Curvy Bifold card is much closer to what I wanted it to say. So it's got like two, like a bifold opening, hasn't it? And then I've used the Zinnia, the Simply Zinnia stamp set and dies. I've used the Simply Zinnia, the Zinnia 3D embossing folder. I use the adhesive backed shiny sequins, which go with the Zinnia set. And I use the matching flowering Zinnia papers. So I use those items on pretty much all the cards because there's not just one, but there's 5 cards in this series. So the one card I made on the live video. The others, and these are in order, okay, the others are also available as tutorials, okay, and you can purchase these. If you have not, if you ordered with me last month or if you're in my team, you would have got them automatically. But if you did not and you would like these tutorials, they are available for purchase on my blog. So I'm just going to pop that blog address up right now so you can see it, lhiggins.blogspot.com. And when you go there, the most recent post is about this, and it has pictures of all these cards and a purchase now button that you can purchase to get them. It's $15 Australian, which is about, if you're in the US, it's about $10 US. So it will automatically work that out for you. You don't have to work it out. It does it for you. Yay, PayPal. Thanks, PayPal, for doing that for me. So you just click the purchase button and it will charge you in your local currency. So and then when you've paid, it automatically emails you a PDF that has the links to all the videos, step-by-step videos to make these projects, and a PDF which all the measurements in both centimeters in metric and in inches imperial. Okay, so both those things are in them. So if you would like these, that's what you'll get. It's very cool. I do it every month. This card actually, this is actually my least favorite card from this series. So I shouldn't probably tell you that, but this one I like all of them. I like this one too, but this one was the one I liked the least. I had others I liked more than this one, and yet it has done really, really well on Instagram. When I posted it yesterday, everyone seemed to like it. So this one here, I've actually added some Winter Stella to the center of the flowers. You can't really see it very well in this light. I'm sorry about that. That's more the purple theme. Still using the paper, then using the dies to create this more full zinnia, which I think looks probably a little bit more like an actual realistic zinnia. And I use the Nested Essentials dies at the back here and some of the beautiful paper again. The color here, this is Granny Apple Green, that green. So, and then the last one was a special one because this one was the one that I did as my team gifts when we went to Onstage last month. So every year when we go to an event, I don't do swaps. What I do is team gifts instead because I want to love on my team when I get to see them in real life. And so this is a little, I got the idea to use seeds. My friend Susan Campfield and I were chatting. She's a demonstrator in the US. And she and I were talking about what we might do for our teams. And she had this idea to send her team packets of zinnia seeds. And I thought that's a really cool idea. But instead of sending packets, I found these cute little bottles at my local $2 shop or hot dollar shop. You will find them in probably your discount shop. They come in packs of 10. They've got a little cork in the end, and I've attached them to a tag. Yes, it's a vellum tag, but it's a tag because when I made these, I didn't know vellum was retiring. And I've used the mini alphabet dies to do some glitter letters for the zinnias. They've got their little seeds there that they can plant, and I'm hoping some of them maybe if any of them are watching today, I'm hoping some of them are going to plant the seeds, and I would love to see photos of how they grow. Okay, and then this one's the same. When you open them up, okay, inside, and this was the real reason for giving them these at on stage, they've got this little pull tab. Okay, see that there? And when you pull it out, these were the flags for them to flag their brand new catalogs when they were at on stage. So that was kind of the purpose of this, was to provide them with some flags to flag the new catalog. So this is the new catalog for anyone who hasn't seen it. Okay, if anyone particularly wants a new catalog from me and you don't already receive one, if you are not a demonstrator, you're a customer anywhere in Australia, or you'd just like to get your hands on one of these, please reach out to me, send me a message, and I'll be sure to make sure that you get one of these in the post during April. Okay, so the catalog starts on the 1st of May. But for those of you who the first thing I do is I sit down and see. You can see I've already done some little flags here. I've got some different things that I wanted to get out of this catalog, and I always mark down my favorites. So that's why I do it like that. So these are the projects. So there's this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 projects in this month's tutorials. This one is public. You don't need to purchase that one. That's automatic. Anyone can watch it. But the other 4 are in a purchasable tutorial pack with the address that's on the screen. So you go lhiggins.blogspot.com, head over there and scroll down a little bit, and you'll see the button to purchase. Okay. And how did we go today? Did everyone enjoy today's project? What do you think? Do we like this? It was a lot of fun to do, and it's a very simple technique. There's a little bit of time involved in coloring it, but I think it's well worth the effort. It's just such a fabulous little project. Does anyone have any questions for me before I say goodbye? We're coming up to the hour, which is what I usually allow for these technique videos. Let me see, has anyone asked a question? Or if you do have a question, now's your chance to ask before I say goodbye. Linda was saying she has to catch the replay to see the actual technique because she came in late. That's completely fine. I love color on dark colors too, especially black, because it's so high drama. It looks fabulous. And it takes, like, black can be a bit of a drag, you know, it can pull you down. But when you add colors like this, it's no longer a drab color. It brightens it up and it makes it look amazing. And the contrast is fantastic. It needs to be a solid stamp, Marilyn. So I don't know, is the dog stamp that you're thinking of, is that the one with if it's just a line drawing stamp, it won't work as well as one that has more of a solid. That's why I chose these leaves, because it's very solid. So I don't know whether that one that you're thinking of is more solid or more of a line drawing stamp. I'm glad you like them. Thank you. Has anyone received theirs yet? Maybe overseas, I think they're starting to arrive, but here, I have not received mine yet. No, Cheryl. It'll come. Don't you worry. There are other bigger things in the world to worry about than whether or not our catalogue has arrived. I know it will be coming very, very soon. Number 2 is your favorite. You mean this one? That one. I like this one too. Yep, it's a nice card. I enjoyed making it. It was an easy card to make. All right, let me scroll down. No more questions? Yep, we're all still waiting patiently for our catalogues, or maybe not so patiently. Is there a re-inker set? There is for the assorted colours in the colour families, but as far as I know, I've looked in the annual catalogue, the new catalogue, and I cannot see a re-inker set for the new colours. There are re-inkers, but I think you have to buy them individually. I have not seen a re-inker set for those. So I hope that answers your question, and I'm sorry it's probably not the answer you wanted. All right, you guys. Well, I will be back with you on Friday evening. We'll have another live video on Friday, and we'll look at some more retiring stuff, something old and something new, some more new things. Looking forward to sharing all the things with you and getting to hang out with you guys again. If anyone has any questions, please sing out. You can message me, and if there's a particular request that you have, you want me to try a particular technique, or you want me to try a particular product line, if I have it, if it's in my power to do so, I will definitely include that in one of my future videos. All right, you guys, have a fantastic week. Just switching over to me again. There I am. I hope everyone is well and stay safe and keep crafting, and I will see you on Friday. Bye-bye.